Featherweight sports. Wait, hello. How are you doing? It's a cool, chilled. What? Wednesday? Yeah, it is Wednesday. So greetings to everyone. Greetings to you. Greetings to everyone who's still gonna be watching this. It's good evening and it's a night. It's a very good night before the morning. So we just couple of minutes, Jessica. We're just couple of minutes away from the morning. Yes, greetings.
Jessica, we are live.
Yes, we are live. Greetings to everyone, guys. We greet you, and we hope that you are pushing where you need to push. And just a reminder before we even go any further, like and press that like button, smash it like you mean it, and subscribe and renew your membership. This is just a reminder of Mzansi Reality. And then beyond Mzansi Reality, yesterday we talked about Back a Body, and we see that some people have really went there and are contributing. If you have not, and if you really missed that, there is what we call the Back a Body, that is seeking to assist DIFO in many ways, and the family, DIFO family, in many ways. So guys, there is a target. I think we can take it up to a certain point. I'm hoping that someone does something very big to meet that target. But other than that, we are going to continue with the case. Everything started with this case. So, Emily, greetings.
Greetings, Mr. Anonymous. Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us here again for another one of the deliberations of what is happening in that courtroom, the Senzo Meyiwa Trial.
It feels like we never took a break now. Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like we've been here.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I thought I was the only one feeling it.
No, it feels like we've been here. It feels like we've never taken a break. Already, I'm starting to get tired again. It's a lot happening in that courtroom. But we're going to discuss it, deliberate on it, share our 2 cents. Hey, we talked about a lot of things yesterday, and I saw today even jabs, you know. So some of us felt like we were catching strays.
Yeah, we did catch strays. It's okay, it's fine. We're used to it. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. We did catch strays.
Why got to go address what
it felt
why not that's speaking to the court of public opinion?
Yeah, it felt like that, but it's okay, man. I mean, we are allowed to say whatever we want. It's public opinion, and there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, we did catch strays.
Yeah, no. I caught it. I was like, okay. But I'm not gonna stop doing what I have to do. So today the state had planned to call the car tracker expert who was there to testify about Longwe Twala's car vehicle movements on the day of the incident, the 26th of October 2014. And the defense objected to her being called. So Baloyi started off by saying that yesterday the state signaled its intention to call the person from Tracker regarding the red polo that had been mentioned by the witness. However, yesterday the state's effort to secure the state witness drew a blank. But fortunately today she was available and the state would have liked to lead her evidence first. This reminded me of yesterday in our prediction. You know, Mr. Anonymous, spot on once more, again. Remember, we actually said that this car tracker person would testify.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
Brigadier Gininda was a no-show today. He didn't even show up in court. After the day ended with them saying that he was going to come and explain his timetable, when he's available, when he's not available, share his exam dates so that they arrange properly. But guess what? He didn't even show up.
Were you surprised?
The car tracker person showed up. They were located, they were traced, and they were found. And they showed up. Yes. Yes. Hi, Shem.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised because yesterday we were actually deliberating and we came to that conclusion that this car tracker person was going to testify.
Yes.
We did.
Yes. And let me tell you something. There are no basis for this car tracker person to actually be in that court before Longwe. But, well.
But almost squeeze in.
No, it's coming. Well-prepared heads of argument beforehand.
But almost squeeze in.
Beforehand. Well-prepared heads of argument. Beforehand.
Hey, as for preparing the heads of argument.
Mm.
And you know, it bothered me because Mgomezulu yesterday was ignored. Remember, he stood up and he said, I would like to object.
We will object.
Or we will object to the appearing or the calling of this witness. Bamshaisa ngomoya, or they just left him hanging there high and dry. Can't he's not going to have an easy night. He's going to prepare heads of argument. Based on that, when the judge did not even entertain it, it was just left hanging like this. Because even I was not sure of what was going to happen today. Can you imagine being in that state?
You prepare for Kininza.
And then you are being told, I came and prepared heads of argument. But how come you didn't let me know that this would be an argument? Because you just left us hanging and said you couldn't locate the car tracker person. And you sounded like you were not going to be sure that they're going to show up. You nothing is certain. These were the monkey tricks that Advocate Tifo was referring to. There was no surety or security that this lady was going to show up today. And surprise, they show up. Not only do they show up, someone has prepared heads of argument. Prepared them. Without letting his learned colleagues that today we are arguing. And then some people are like, no, that's not a trial by ambush. What is this? What are we watching? Like, what's going on in that courtroom? There's so much chaos. And only one person is responsible for it, but no one is making them take accountability. It's like they're doing nothing. It's like everything they're doing is correct. Everything is fine. We just have to move with it. Even though it's strange. So he said that yesterday the state's effort to secure the state witness drew a blank, but fortunately today she was available and the state would have liked to lead her evidence first. So Baloyi said that he had informed his learned friends, and guess what? He introduced a new exhibit, a tracker report. The name of the witness, he shared it to be Miss Maria Elizabeth Pretorius. That is her name. The judge asked if the defense had an opportunity to study that report, and Baloyi said that they were given on Monday. So it turns out, because yesterday we did share that there was kind of a feeling that they'd introduced a new document, right? So it turns out they shared that document to them on Monday. So already by Monday, the state had arranged for the tracker person of Longwe's car to come and testify. So Mgomezulu confirmed after the judge asked what they did, whether they did receive the exhibits on Monday morning. Mgomezulu said the witness can be led by the state and he'd like to request the basis for introducing this evidence before the court. Remember that yesterday Mgomezulu only said that they will be opposing the appearance of this witness. He did not go into detail as to what exactly he required of Mr. Baloyi to explain. Only today did he expand on that, right? According to us who are watching the live stream, we don't know whether there was a separate conversation that took place away from the cameras and away from the court and away from the live streaming. We don't know. But according to where we left it off, Mgomezulu only introduced this whole elaborate requirement that he should explain exactly why this witness must come and testify. And he also wanted to ask which kind of evidence is it supporting, because in his true recollection, he does not remember any witness talking about the registration number of the vehicles. Moreover, this motor vehicle is alleged to have been driven by Longwe Twala. And why is it the prerogative of the state not to call him? What are the intentions of the state to lead evidence which relates to Longwe Twala? And this witness cannot prove in terms of the location of the vehicle. So Mgomezulu said that they're not sure of the registration numbers of that motor vehicle. And the judge asked him, is that all? It seemed it gave very much, I'm impatient, That's what it gave. And Mgomezulu then said, why is Longwe Twala not called? The state does not want to advance genuine reasons as to why they're not going to call Longwe Twala, being the driver of that vehicle on that particular day. So the basis for this objection is that in relation to the movement of this vehicle, it amounts to hearsay, and the evidence that will be elicited by this lady, meaning that the car tracker witness, especially that deals with the registration numbers of the vehicles. He said that he was not sure whether that vehicle was the one Longwe Twala was driving on that particular day. Exactly. This is like hearsay. Why is it hearsay? Because Longwe has not come to confirm this evidence for himself. It has not been confirmed by Longwe Twala himself that indeed he was driving a red Polo. The car registration of that red Polo is so and so, and the tracker information for that vehicle, how it can be located and all of that, just to confirm the car tracker information as well, and whether it is the vehicle, his vehicle, that matches that car tracker information that will be shared and elaborated in court. I mean, even with the cell phone, even with the AVL that Dupree was testifying on, there was prior confirmation coming from Bangwe Baditaba, the people whose vehicles and cell phones it belonged to. There was a period where there was verification to say some of the accused denying some of the numbers, saying that these numbers did not belong to them, these numbers belong. So why isn't it that Longwe cannot come to court and tell the court whether that car, it was his or not, before there's presentation of AVL evidence being presented? This is so weird. So the judge said that he doesn't know, and Mgomezulu said that he was addressing the court so that he's put it on record that the state can respond to his submission. So Ramasipili said that in as the state is dominus litis, he said he cannot tell the state which evidence to lead. The state needed to be honest with the defense. Yesterday, they were informed that this lady would be coming or would not be coming anymore, and that they'd be resuming with Colonel Gininda. Exactly. Yesterday, when court left, there was the assumption that Colonel Gininda was going to come, or Brigadier Gininda was going to come and tell them about when he will be available to come and testify, confirm the dates. And he said that they'll be hearing from Colonel Gininda whether he wants to testify during writing of his exams, or whether they needed to stand down until he finalizes his exams, and then they'd come back. Now today, to their surprise, the lady is here, the car tracker lady. So Ramasipili said that he can honestly tell the court that he never consulted accused number 2 regarding that document for that reason. He's saying that he never consulted. Yesterday, they adjourned early, and he was saying that he never consulted with accused number 2 regarding that document. And I don't blame him. It's because of how the court in itself adjourned. They were under the impression that Brigadier Gininda was going to come and confirm whether he was going to testify or not. You understand? So now, that document was put on the side. The owner of the document could not be traced. And there was already a process in mind that they'd have to prove or present an argument as to why this witness should testify on a car whose owner did not even appear in court to come and testify. So Mnisi said that they were in the same position as well when they were informed that they were unable to get hold of a person from the AVL recording company. Therefore, they'd continue with Brigadier Gininda's evidence. And this is what they were expecting to happen today. So the judge asked that had they heard that Jesus Christ rose from the dead after 3 days. This threw me off guard because I'm like, why is he now talking about Jesus? And it doesn't sound like he's talking about Jesus in a way that, as amakholwa, you know, in a level tone isn't right, you know. And I'm like, but what has Jesus got to do with that? Is so random. That is so random. We haven't said a prayer. We just bring the death of Jesus and his resurrection. And he likes saying that a lot. He likes saying, Mandela resurrected. And I'm like, okay, is he a Christian or not? I'm so confused. Mnisi also was lost. He was lost there. He didn't understand what he was talking about. And then the judge continued to say that the Christians and the Muslims, they know that. They know that Jesus died and raised after 3 days. Okay, but what has that got to do with what is currently happening? I'm so lost with regards to that. Okay, brother Jesus. Jesus Christ. Okay, guy. Like, I don't understand. You threw me off guard.
Okay. What the man was trying to say is that you might not believe some of the things would happen, but they happen. So here is a person
example
that they thought might not come to testify.
No, it's a terrible example in my sense, because for some weird reason I feel like it had a tone of, you know, not respecting the Christian religion. That's my opinion. It was a terrible example. Couldn't have used some other example, because at the end of the day, I didn't understand what he was talking about. And Mnisi also was lost. Because Mnisi at the end of the day ended up saying that he doesn't even know Jesus Christ. And I'm like, but what is happening? What's going on? Like, so now they got Mnisi to say that he doesn't believe in Jesus. Like, what is going on? But
Did you say he doesn't believe to Jesus?
He said he doesn't know Jesus Christ. Yes. Doesn't know Jesus Christ. And I'm like,
do
but
you know
just okay na guy. Like, okay na guy. I don't want to answer whether I know him or not, which is why I feel like, okay na guy, why bring up a religious? Somehow I feel like maybe Christianity is the most disrespected religion in a sense. Or okay, why? What has this got to do with anything? With what was being argued about?
I understand what you're trying to drive, but I feel like you are probably, in answering the issue of Christianity and whatnot, you probably might lose also people in a sense, because you are focusing on that part of an example. Yes, it's an example that might have confused a lot of people. I caught it. Maybe you didn't catch it.
I didn't.
But it was meant to say that things that you don't believe might happen, they do happen. So here's the person. That's basically what he was saying.
So Ngumalo did that also, and he also said that he needed to consult with his client. He didn't consult with his client. He was under the impression that Brigadier Gininda would be coming so that they could resume his evidence. So Mshololo said that she was in the same position as well, and Baloyi started by responding to the assertion by Mr. Ramasepele that the state indicated that it was no longer going to be calling the witness anymore. So Baloyi said that it is not correct. What they said was that they couldn't trace the witness yesterday, and there was a fallback position that they were going to call Brigadier Gininda, but they managed to trace the witness, and that is the reason why they're calling the witness now. So with regard to the submission by Mr. Mgomezulu, he said that there's no evidence regarding the registration number. Should that become necessary, they would lead evidence on that. But he has invited the state to address the court on why the state intends to place this evidence before court. And for that reason, he had prepared like brief points of arguments, emphasis on brief, they wanted to have or wanted to advance. So, yeah, pretty much that is it. Mnisi also stood to object that he doesn't intend to stop what the state intended to do, but this is a horrible ambush. The state, for it to prepare heads of argument, and also I was puzzled as well, because usually you'd see the judge being the one deciding whether heads of argument needed to be prepared or not. And yesterday we didn't leave with that impression, but now it seems that the procedure was now bypassed, and Mr. Baloyi was able to prepare heads of argument without actually letting it known that tomorrow we'll be arguing. And the judge as well, there was no participation. Like I said before, Mr. Mgomezulu yesterday, when he brought up this thing, he was literally ignored, and it seemed like, okay, we left under the impression that this witness was not gonna even testify at all. So it was kind of weird what was happening this morning. It was like, okay, Mr. Baloyi, it seems like you are way ahead of everyone else. This is what it gave.
I've got a different view. If you have been furnished with some information on Monday, and also understanding how this case is being run, I think you should have prepared for that.
So you think they should have prepared?
I think they should have prepared. So you cannot now say that this is a trial by ambush because of that. The fact that some of this information was furnished to them on Monday, already they should have created something, just put it aside. Because you know how Baloyi operates. I can sit here, predict exactly what is going on, and you've been dealing with Baloyi for this long. You still do not understand how Baloyi operates.
So you are saying that they need to play catch up to Mr. Baloyi's.
That's unfortunately how the court is gonna look at it, and believe in me, that's how the court is. Right now, I can tell you for free, it's a free prediction. The court is probably done writing the ruling and quoting the cases tomorrow.
So they should have prepared, even though they were left hanging, even though they didn't know whether that witness was going to show up or not.
He never said he's going to withdraw the witness.
He never said he's going to withdraw the witness.
No.
He just said he can't trace them.
They cannot trace him.
They can't locate them.
Yes.
So on the
and
basis
in
of
my
that,
mind yesterday, it was clear that they needed time to prepare this witness. It couldn't be that they couldn't find a witness. That is something that was playing in my mind. So what was playing on a defense mind?
Okay. That's your argument. I'm accepting it. I under their position would not have been able to tell what was going on.
Yesterday we said
that was after
the woman is gonna be
period
available.
of analyzing and kind of predicting what would happen.
Exactly. These predictions are not a spiritual thing. These predictions are based on looking at the person that we are dealing with, right? Even the judge is tomorrow. The judge is gonna give verdict.
But my problem with them adjusting to that is that it's going to be how this case moves now from now on. They're supposed to predict Sangoma rise and then act based on that.
No, it's not Sangoma rising.
Then play catch up with Mr. Baloyi.
That's what is happening.
With Mr. Baloyi.
That is what is happening. Refusing to do that, you are rendering your client in a silver platter. You're giving them in a silver platter. So that's what is currently happening. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, today we adjourn, tomorrow they are coming back to attend to that. So what's the difference?
The difference is that they've had time to sit down and prepare heads of argument.
Since Monday, they would have had the same time.
That tomorrow they will need to hand them over, unlike being left hanging.
No, even on Monday when they were handed this, they would have had the same time on Tuesday to prepare for this. And then when comes the time on Wednesday, they are ready, they deliberate. Simple as that. Today, we would be waiting for an answer from the judge. Unfortunately, now what is going to happen, the judge is currently now, as we speak, allegedly writing a verdict on this that is going to give tomorrow without hearing the heads of argument of the defense. So it just can't. Do you understand? So that means they will always lose to Baloyi because they don't submit compelling arguments. By the time they submit them, everything is written.
Well, Baloyi said to the judge that Mr. Mgumezulu invited the state to address the court on the relevance of the evidence. And he said that now they were trying to do that and now there's an objection. They are going to submit that the defense cannot stop the state from advancing an argument if they want more time to prepare their argument. They are at liberty to do that, and they can't stop the state from advancing its own argument. So the judge asked Mnisi for a response, and Mnisi responded by saying that when was it raised that the state needed to explain the basis why this witness is being called. The judge accused Mr. Mnisi of not listening and repeated what Mr. Mgomezulu said, that he wanted the reasons why this witness was being called. Yeah, the funny thing is that they're speaking as if Mgomezulu raised this yesterday and the judge ordered for the heads of argument to be prepared. That to me, it felt that way. But then Mr. Anonymous is like, no, since they received the evidence of this witness on Monday, that AVL report, then they might as well just have prepared to argue and prepared those heads of arguments in advance so that they play catch up with Mr. Baloyi. So the judge said that he asked Mr. Mnisi if he wanted, and also asked him if he can stop the state from calling any witness. Okay.
You see, already that is a judgment. If you missed it again, I mean, you might say, I didn't expect that. That's a judgment. He's literally saying that you cannot stop, and that's what he's going to be leaning on tomorrow. Say that you cannot stop the state from leading their evidence however they want to lead the evidence. They are,
even though there's no basis for them to lead that evidence. Where is it being led from? From what the assertions Mr. Mgomezulu put. But mungaditaba ukai. Where is the person whose this thing belongs to? The law of things and the law of I have a problem with this evidence being presented. I have a problem with it. It's just bothering me.
It would be foolish or reckless for them to argue as if they want to stop the state.
Because they can never stop the state.
The only argument that they have, that I had yesterday, that I think they have, is the basis. And they should stick to that. The basis of this evidence being led are not clear. To such an extent that Baloyi is assuming that a car or a tracker was pinned to Longwe Twala. If that is, to Longwe Twala, yes. If
Not
that is the
car.
case, then Baloyi can go ahead and lead that evidence. But Baloyi is assuming a car is Longwe Twala, in my opinion. It seems as if he's saying, if a car did not go there, then Longwe Twala did not go there. You know?
That's what he said. So, it sounded like that. Yes, that's what he said. It didn't even sound like that. That's what he said. It's because of the
argument,
hospital.
That's the flaw of the argument, because
he wanted to prove that the car never went to the hospital that they are claiming that Longwe got treated at.
Yes, which is wrong. Because Longwe is a person, a car is a car. If I drive my car now and leave it somewhere and then go to a certain place, it does not mean I was not there in that place because my car was never there. It's the car that is not there. But me, I could be there. So that is their argument, that the basis in which Baloyi would like us to believe is that if the car was not there, then therefore Longwe was not there. Which is wrong. It is wrong. Wrong. It cannot be.
So Mnisi said that that is trial by law, and that the state can lead whatever evidence they want to lead, whether it's relevant, irrelevant, necessary, unnecessary, whether the evidence is there or not there. So they can lead whatever it is that they want to lead, but there should be a basis for reading that evidence. So the judge said that Baloyi, this is the basis that Baloyi had said, and what Mgomezulu communicated literally 5 minutes ago, in my opinion, it does not really make sense how the heads of argument were prepared, because now this is literally what Mgomezulu had layered, that this is the reasons that he was giving for his basis. But however, heads of argument were prepared. But it is what it is. We move. Nisi also said that he was not saying that there must be a basis, that he was only hearing Mr. Mgomezulu today being on record saying that the state should indicate the reason why they would want to lead that evidence, because the testimony of this evidence will be a continuation of a hearsay. He said, I heard him now, but the state has already prepared heads of argument. When are we supposed to respond to these heads of argument? And the judge continued to say that Baloyi, by saying that it was intimidated by Mr. Mgomezulu in yesterday that he was going to object. That's why he had typed and prepared his heads of argument. So Mnisi said that unfortunately he was not privy to that information. The judge also, in my opinion, sought validation from Mr. Mgomezulu, asking him if he was quoting him. And after he completely, in my opinion, ignored him yesterday, I feel like it was left hanging. But he today was asking Mgomezulu if he had heard him or had quoted him correctly. And Mgomezulu agreed, but said that there was one thing that puzzled him. He said that it was an informal discussion between himself and Mr. Baloyi. They were made to prepare for Brigadier Gininda. They even had to listen to Brigadier Gininda speaking. And I was asking myself, but when, how? So apparently yesterday, they called Brigadier Gininda. Advocate Mshololo later on disclosed that there was a phone call that happened between some of the defense counsels, as well as Advocate Baloyi and Brigadier Gininda. So that's saying if Advocate Baloyi was intending to serve them with heads of argument, he could have done that even electronically. So the judge asked him if he wanted to peruse the heads of argument, and Mgomezulu said that they also had to respond from what he was responded on. So the judge asked him how much time they needed. They said that it was 6 paragraphs. Mgomezulu requested 30 minutes, and the judge apologized to the witness. Baloyi stood to make a proposal that they go ahead, advance their heads of argument, and if they need time to respond to that, then they could do so. He said that Mr. Mgomezulu yesterday, before they resumed, he put it on record, and it was not a private discussion, he put it on record that he was going to reject the evidence of the person from the tracker. So Baloyi said that he was surprised that Mgomezulu said that it was a private discussion while it was not. It's on record. And the judge asked the defense if they were okay with Mr. Baloyi reading his heads of argument, then they could adjourn and go and prepare their heads of argument. So Mgomezulu said that he thought that he was going to advance his reason for this witness in court, and the judge said that he's advancing his reasons, and he also said that he should lead the witness first. So Baloyi then presented his heads of argument. To me, Mr. Anonymous, I feel like those heads of argument were very, I don't know whether they made sense to me, but we'll go through them, okay, before I come to conclusions, right? So Baloyi said that Mr. Mgomezulu has indicated that he will object to the evidence of this witness and then give background of the prepositions that Mr. Mgomezulu put to the witness under introduction. He said that we quote the record, the proceedings on the 28th of August 2024. He put the following proposition to Colonel Mangena. Now, Advocate Baloyi quoted when Mgomezulu put it to Mangena that 3 shots were fired. 1 shot caused injury to Zandi Khumalo on her leg. Another Longwe injured himself on the leg while they were struggling for the gun with the deceased. And he said the other one shot Senzo Meyiwa. So all these 3 shots, they caused an injury. 1 injury was to Zandi Khumalo. Another one was stuck on Longwe Twala's foot. And the other one shot Senzo. So Longwe's wound became septic and he went to a doctor. The late Dr. Mbatsani, who referred Longwe Twala to Dr. Mudise at Rand Hospital, where a bullet was taken from Longwe's foot. And Baloyi said that these allegations are so serious as they speak to the heart of what is issue or at issue in this case. And they ought to be investigated. And I'm like, did the state do an investigation? You know? And he said that if the AVL records can assist the court in their determination of these issues, that it is in the interest of justice that this evidence be allowed. Baloyi also said that automatic vehicle location, which is AVL, is a computer-based vehicle tracking system used to monitor the movement of vehicles. It helps to determine and transmit the geographic location of a vehicle in real time. As we submitted when we dealt with the evidence of Mr. Dupree, it's an eye in the sky. Mr. Mgomezulu said that it's hearsay evidence. This is not hearsay evidence, according to Mr. Baloyi. It's real evidence. It's digital evidence, and it qualifies as real evidence. So Baloyi said that they mentioned that the AVL record will therefore show the movement of the Polo, including where it drove to any medical facility, in light of the proposition that was put to Colonel Mangena that Longwe Twala shot himself on the foot. And now I'm thinking, but now it's like they're making the assertion as if Longwe Twala drove himself to that medical facility, you know, which is highly unlikely if it's true that he was indeed injured. That's my opinion. And Mgomezulu said that he was taken. So he could have been taken using another car, which is something that Advocate Baloyi is not really entertaining. He, like Mr. Anonymous has just shared, he is making the car Longwe Twala. So he's not considering anything else besides that. It's like wherever the car was, Longwe was. So he said that in contrast to what Mr. Mgomezulu submitted, they made the point that AVL records are independent, objective evidence, and as it were, a silent witness. And he said that they draw parallel with cell phone records. They're just like cell phone records or bank records. One can surely not argue that cell phone records or bank records are hearsay evidence if there is a witness who comes and gives testimony on those records. So here literally we are hearing Advocate Baloyi saying that that car is Longwe Twala, in my opinion. In my opinion, he's now giving us that impression that the vehicle is the owner. And wherever the owner is, the vehicle is there. And to even go as far as to say that the vehicle was the witness. I'm very conflicted. And he said, we briefly mentioned that a tracking device is installed in a particular vehicle which provides vehicle location information, and a witness from a tracking company would come and testify that in this case, they retrieved information from the system and testify about the period in which it relates. Ms. Zandi Kumalo, Ms. Dumelo Madlala, and Ms. Mthokozisi Twala, and to a certain extent, Mr. Kaya Ngache inter alia testified about a person of a red polo on the premises on the evening of the incident, and Mr. Longwe Twala was the driver. Can Mr. Longwe Twala come and confirm this himself? It's like now you are taking his car to speak for him when he can speak for himself. So this, in their submission, he said they rendered the evidence reliable and validate the information that the AVL records will provide. The starting point is that all relevant evidence is admissible, and they refer to Section 210 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1957, which provides as follows. Quoted from it, it said that no evidence as to any fact, matter, or thing shall be admissible which is irrelevant or immaterial, and which cannot serve to prove or disprove any point of fact at issue in criminal proceedings. In my opinion, I don't feel like this is really aligning with what he's saying. In my opinion, it's just all over the place. He also quoted an author, Dudoy, which said that relevance of an item of evidence refers to this logical tendency to show or indicate the material fact for which evidence is offered. Relevance is a question of fact. Again, I could not put the puzzles together. That's just my opinion. And he also referred to the commentary on the CPA. He said that a preposition had been made that Mr. Longwe Twala shot himself in the process of shooting the deceased. So the AVL is going to prove that Longwe did not shoot himself on the foot. That's a question I have. Is the AVL going to prove that? And the AVL record would assist, he said, the court in determining whether that preposition is likely to be true or not.
That should be part of heads of argument. That the AVL is never going to prove anything. Just like the video, guys, other than the car's whereabouts. That's it. Which is not long. So, tomorrow or today, Baloyi is going to bring this woman who's going to tell us about times this car, ignition off, ignition on,
GPS
unlocked, GPS, what. What the defense should not do is to start entertaining this woman. Do you understand? They should hold the information, but they should not entertain the woman.
By giving
because
extra
if
information.
they do, they will end up showing what
hand.
they have in their hand, and that would be wrong. Ngomezulu showed the hand yesterday when he said they are going to object to that, because he's thinking he's in the same court, he's in a court of fairness. And we've said that long time ago, that court does not look anything like that, or it does not even feel like that. Why he said that? We've been cautioning Ramusipil on that, and I think he has let it go. The excitement got into Ngomezulu, and Ngomezulu started saying that they are going to object to that. He was not supposed to say that. He was supposed to wait for the right time for Baloyi to introduce this thing, and then they object decisively. Now, Baloyi is right in saying that Mngomezulu did say that on record. Because that piece, that small piece, we will object, that was it. It prompted Baloyi to go and write heads of argument. Gave him time to go and write heads of argument.
One sentence to say that they are going to oppose. So he should have not told him.
He should have kept quiet when they introduced
oppose.
this. He should have kept quiet.
And waited for her to show up.
Yes.
Okay.
With your heads of argument too. So the only question that they could all do is to stand up and ask one question to this woman. After the long day that it's gonna have, was the tracker embedded in Longwe's body? Yes or no? Simple as that. Was your tracker in Longwe's body or in a car? Simple as that. And obviously she's not gonna say it was in Longwe's body. And then they should all still sit down after that.
So you're saying they should not even look at the time periods of when the car went in and the car left the scene. They shouldn't entertain all of that.
What does it have to do with
Nitty-gritty.
the person who's giving evidence of that? Nothing.
Nothing.
The time, if it happens that it is 5,
Longwe didn't testify.
if it happens that it's 5, Longwe should answer for that because he's the one who said he came later, according to his affidavits, right? So that's what they should be waiting for tomorrow, to get the memo, and which I think they already have in their hand. They should just sit the day and hear Usibanda telling them about times and all those things, starting way before the incident, maybe 2 days ahead, or I don't know. But that's what's going to happen today. Let that happen. Do not disturb that. Let it be. Only one question could solve all this. For all of them should stand up and ask one question. Was the tracker in Longwe's body or in a car?
That's it.
And the woman's going to answer fairly, I believe. And then that's it. Thank you, ma'am. You sit down.
Okay. All right.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Because if you are going to argue with the woman who's producing the evidence, say, could have Longwe being able to drive after
she
being
will be
shot.
recalled if she's needed after Longwe testifies.
Yeah. They can subpoena Long.
Yeah. Based on this.
But anything that they say is going to give Longwe a memo. You don't want to give Longwe any memo. Just stand up, ask one question. Don't even take it further than that. She can say AVL is loading where at some point and whatnot. Just leave it like that. Don't say anything.
Hi, guys. I think Mr. Anonymous, we valid. Let's open the lines.
There's nothing to say. There's really nothing to say to this woman. Because
they're gonna waste time, show their cards, show their hand.
It's a trap.
Give Longwe Twala a memo so that when he comes to testify, he knows what he's to navigate. So they would rather not entertain her. They just listen to what the examination in chief is gonna go. From what I'm seeing, it seems like Sibanda will be doing it. In my opinion, I could be wrong, and he's gonna try and drag it like he does. And then it would be time for cross-examination.
And
what
then
can
they
they cross-examine?
On the defense to actually waste more time.
Yes, so that we can
to actually fast forward that, they just need to ask one question and all sit down. That's it. And we're done.
I have no further questions.
Yes.
One person must ask that question, which will probably be Mr. Mngomezulu, to say, was the tracker on Longwe? Or was it in the car? that it was on the car. Okay, fine.
Simple as that. You sit down. Don't waste any time. Don't try to be smart. This woman does not know anything about what happened in that house.
And then sit
They
down.
might be tampering with the papers that she comes with.
But
It
don't
does not
entertain
matter.
them.
Don't
I think it's
entertain them.
designed to distract.
Yes.
So don't entertain it. You revisit it once Longwe comes and testify. Basically, what we're trying to say is that this witness is useless without Longwe. Summary.
As simple as that.
They're useless without Longwe coming in, testifying first, or testifying, giving his version of events. What are they going to do with this witness without Longwe testifying? There's nothing that can be done.
Just for interest's sake, if you want to drag it a bit, maybe 2 minutes, Nyana, you can ask
What other question can you
about the
ask?
tracker. Okay, does this tracker at any point in time shows itself running out of the house, the yard, getting out of the yard and coming back? If it doesn't, then it's not proving anything. Because according to Longwe, he ran out of the yard and he came back.
And does it tell whether there was a different driver driving? Like, can your AVL tell you who was driving the car?
Simple as that. Those are the questions that you need to ask. And you obviously
I
know
can't
the answer
believe
to
this. That is all they need. These simple questions to just cancel everything.
Yes. Simple. You know, if the tracker was really tracking Longwe and it was there to track Longwe, then it should get in, get out, get in again. Because Longwe ran out of the yard at some point and he came back. Right?
That's what he said.
Then that's what the tracker should be doing. There's nothing else. If it's not showing that, then it's not showing Longwe.
Okay.
The tracker is simple showing the car. Because Longwe ran out of the house.
He
And
did.
it's not showing Longwe running out of the house.
No. It's not, and it can never. It's showing the car, the movement of the car. Who's driving the car? It cannot tell you that. Whether the car was being driven by somebody else, or whether the car was with Longwe, it's not telling you that. What it is telling you is that the car moved, stopped. That's
Depending on what you want to hear, or depending on where you want to go with this, you can debunk Longwe's theory that he actually ran out of the house using the tracker. Kamaboom, Mautanda. Uta, no, Shuti Longwe lied to us when he said he moved out of the house. And then the judge is going to say, how can you say that? Because, my lord, this AVL is there up until such time. So if this is Longwe, then
we are going to assume
if we are going to assume the car
to be the movement of
to be the
Longwe.
movement of Longwe, then he should have moved when Longwe moved. That's it. It's up to you what you want to use it for. But this is just a waste of time, but also a very useful information to you that you are going to subpoena Longwe at some point. So, but don't show your hand.
Yeah, no more showing your hand because, can you?
That is as simple as that. There is nothing to this.
Now there's a defense being crafted for a witness who has not yet come to testify.
The heads of argument are going to assist the case on an appeal basis. These heads of argument that they are drafting. Because I can assure you, the judge is going to fall on the trap. He's going to give answer tomorrow, but he's probably going to say he needs time to go to chambers and craft whatever. We all know that's not allegedly.
How did you feel about Baloyi saying that they needed to go to the chambers to discuss the issue of Brigadier Kininda?
Oh no, that.
The exam situation, Now he was like the cameras.
no, that
he needed
you see-
privacy. The studying of a person requires privacy.
Oh, lies have a short leg. They always have a short leg, in my opinion. So the problem is that in public, other people are studying law and they know the modules. So once those modules are read, they might not be in line with what other people have. So therefore, it exposes these whole 6 modules. 6.
He said it's 6 modules.
Yes.
And you know where he lost me? When he said that some of them are research. And I'm
Projects. It's projects.
So you're telling me you're only starting now to do a research? Isn't it like a year thing where you begin at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year? Like you are going to need time to do a research that you should have started.
No, project, let me just give a bit of clarity. They are a project in a sense that they give you scenarios of what ought to have happened, and you come with your own answers on the basis of what you research in terms of law. That's not like you need to file certain things. I know someone who just finished studying LLB in UNISA. It's a project, yes, but it's not that project where you need. You just need to research and apply the knowledge that you get on the internet and in that researching. So it's not an exam where it's like an open book type of a situation.
Oh, it's not like a hectic research where you like literally have to chop it down. Or I'm comparing with
there is no. They might give you the books that you need to use on that, but you are not limited to those books. You need to take it further to actually answer some of these questions, and that's what they call projects.
I was also shocked at the request that Mshololo had made for his timetable and his timetable and leave application. And he said that Mr. Baloyi was the one who was supposed to give it to them, and it's not yet there. What is happening?
Remember, if these modules are there, then you can apply for the leave. But if they are not there, you cannot. So there are two things. I don't dispute that they might be writing that is happening, but the number of the modules might be exacerbated in my own opinion.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Also, how did you feel about the ID situation again? Baloyi is refusing with the ID of accused number 1. He's holding on to it like a phone. Let's take the phone call. Continue.
Yeah, because you are pushing, the person is pushing. Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi, reality, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. You're speaking with Shinji.
Hi, Chili.
Shinji.
I just wanted to re-emphasize Mr. Arno's point.
Okay.
I'm a little bit disappointed by the defense counsel in that they come sort of unprepared. Because I already know, like Mr. Arno said, that Baloyi was going to come with heads of argument. And I expect all the defense attorneys advocates to come with heads of arguments to support their side of story. So that when Baloyi puts his papers, they must also pull out theirs. And then they argue. Rather than waiting for Baloyi to do his thing and then sort of dribbled, you end up getting dribbled in the whole process. So, yeah, I was expecting them to be ready for the defending of Longwe to come, or for that tracker person not to testify. So, yeah. Okay, I've got 5 points. Gininda studies. The first part is, why is Baloyi sort of saying Gininda studies are private when he has already been talking about his studies? It's no longer private now. So we all know he's studying LLB, and it must be out there. The timetable must also be brought forward. Yes. And I must say, I want to repeat, there's a point that I made, I think yesterday, where I was saying, I feel like when they are being told about whatever they plan, they must be the court must be told together, like same time. You see what happened yesterday? When they went out and the day before yesterday, when they went out to talk to Gininda, and they had an agreement. And Baloyi comes today with a separate agreement, which is the only advantage for yesterday was the judge was not told in advance. Because if he was told in advance, he was going to already agree with this thing of delaying Gininda to come, even forgetting that there was an agreement reached that he would come for some few days before he writes his exams, which I think in the circumstances is the best approach, because we also cannot hold the stop. The court must not go on, and at the same time, you must also be able to get a day or two to study, which is perfect. And then I was going to say, the person who, from my observation now, the person who is very bad in that court, it might no longer be the judge in my eyes, is Baloyi. Because Baloyi, I cannot even understand why he insists on not giving the ID for Muzi. I can't. If the court wants, they are the ones who must make a copy and remain with a certified copy. But the original must be, because I'm telling you, there's no one in prison. I think it's unfortunate that this judge is going to come, going to run around, look some judgment where the ID was taken, and you deliver it tomorrow. I can also put my head on the block for that one. But the person must be given the ID back, and they move on with life. That's one. And then the other point is, if it wasn't for Mnisi, guys, fighting for everything in that court, I feel like the other defense attorneys are scared of the judge or what, I don't know, because only Mnisi fights. Because remember, Mnisi was not part of the court that was done by Baloyi and put on speakerphone. Mnisi was not there, but he was speaking like he was the one who was there, because he only heard it from other guys. And then they ended up coming up and supporting what he was saying. But it was Mnisi who fought first. Otherwise, they all could have just kept quiet and life goes on and we do what we want. And then the car tracker, I'll repeat it again. I think it would be fair if Longwe was coming and then the car tracker was also coming. And Mr. Ano, you are right. There is no question that they must ask that car tracker person. Either you say no question or you say is the tracker in the ankle of Longwe or not. And if they say it's in the car, and there are no further questions, because you mustn't even say anything, because this car tracker person is going to do what? It's not the person, it's not Longwe. And remember, the way they are treating Longwe is, unfortunately, I think it's Brigadier Haded, or the other guy who died, there's a guy who died. Yeah, he's dead, he cannot come and give evidence. Right, but Longwe is there, so he must come together with the car tracker guy. So yeah, those were my just 2 points. The last point I thought about after yesterday, maybe Mr. Anu and Emily, when Advocate Msololo joined in the bandwagon to get help for the confinement story, maybe hey, keeping away was a good idea. Because if she was involved from the beginning, but that judge might not even have entertained that story to go further. So I think maybe keeping away and just joining at the end when there's a solution maybe was a good point. So yeah, those were my few points. Thank you guys for the good work that you're doing, and keep in touch. Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it was a good approach to wait until the 11th hour and be like, okay.
You had a question. What was the question?
Well, I was asking about the ID and why Advocate Baloyi is holding on to accused number one's ID like that. I mean, he said he's offering affidavits, two of them, not affidavits, certified copies of his ID to his kids so that they can apply for NFSAS. And Mgomezulu was saying that the family is insisting on having the ID. They need to use it. They cannot be limited, and every time they have to use it, they have to ask for certified copies.
Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hello, my lovelies. How are you guys doing? I missed you guys so much.
Doing great.
You.
How are you?
You're doing awesome.
I'm well. I'm really good. And I hope the same for you guys as well. I just missed the beginning, but I just got here on time to just make a call and just make a comment about
made it right on time.
my observations of the case this week. So, this week was, I don't know, I think I'm just calling to express my frustration really about what unfolded, especially yesterday and the day before. This judge, I don't understand if he really has self-awareness. And it has become obvious that he doesn't have self-awareness. He doesn't really pay attention to his behavior. I was actually quite shocked on Tuesday when the judge was talking about compassion. And I was just thinking to myself, so is Gininda the only person who deserves compassion?
Yes.
What about this young man, Ntanzi, who's been sitting in custody for over 4 years now? And Nobe, who's been in solitary confinement for over 4 years as well. So, does their welfare not matter? Their psychological well-being, does it not matter? But Gininda, who's known since the beginning of the year that he's writing exams, he must be taken into consideration. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I don't understand. So is it quite obvious to us that, if you don't have money and you are accused of a crime, when you haven't even been proven, guilty yet, nobody cares about you. So, Rata doesn't care about the fact that, these guys are innocent until proven otherwise. So they can basically sit there whilst Gininda is busy continuing with his life, writing his exams, planning his future. But what about the future of these guys who are sitting there? What about the future of Ntanzi? What about the future of his children? What about the future of Muzi? There's a back and forth about an ID. Children need to go to school. Education is important. Doesn't the law of South Africa say every child has a right to education? Doesn't the law say that? So a judge is sitting up there who's supposed to be, the one who is executing these laws, making sure that people's rights are protected. But he seems to be just laxed about the fact that these kids need their father's ID and they need to get to school. So Gininda deserves an education, but Muzi's children don't deserve an education. Is this the South Africa that we are living in? To be honest with you, I'm very sad. I'm very, very sad. And I've been just sitting here brainstorming, just thinking about what can I do? What can I do as a South African citizen to help? And I'm just knocking my head against the wall because I don't really know what to do because I'm in a different industry altogether. I'm in a different profession. So I'm just thinking, how can I be of assistance? I do step into the legal profanity from time to time to help and offer my expertise. But considering the distance of between where I am and where the events are unfolding, I'm just sitting here thinking, what can I do? I really can't come up with anything. I'm just feeling helpless. But injustice is unfolding there, and there are millions or maybe hundreds of thousands of South Africans who have money, people who with money, people with who have connections, who can reach out to certain people, but people are just sitting back and watching, and that they don't care because this doesn't affect them directly. But what we don't understand is that this can come to your home. This situation can come to your home. But do people not care because they know that, if this comes to their homes, they've got money and they know who to call and they can move things around. Guys, I don't know what to do. I really don't know. I'm helpless. But it's sad what is happening. It's really sad. And to be honest with you, I am team defense. But on Tuesday, I was quite frustrated with these guys that nobody was mentioning the rights of the accused being violated. And I was just thinking, but even yesterday when they were talking, I was just holding my breath, waiting for somebody to talk about the rights of the accused being violated. And somebody did say that. I was like, hallelujah. Finally, somebody's talking about these people. Because everybody's sitting in the front and they are in the back and they look like they're invisible. They're invisible. Only the people in the front are more important. People with black robes, people with red robes. But the guy sitting at the back with no money, he's invisible. They are invisible. So people are only talking about their private practices and how much money they are losing and stuff like that. But what about the children of the people sitting at the back? They are losing the presence of their fathers. They're going to lose opportunities to go to university because somebody's holding on to an ID. Nobody's thinking about these things. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just going to keep sitting here brainstorming and thinking what I can do. Hopefully I'll get to something, but this is where I am right now. And Emily, I sent you a request, and can you please, if you can, just respond to that, because I wanna contribute something to the channel.
All right.
Okay. I want to contribute something to the channel, and I would like you to just do a little bit of research and homework about what your needs are, especially with the mic and the headphones. Okay.
Okay.
So if you can just respond to that, and then I'll take care of it.
Can you please send it just now so that we don't miss it? We get a lot of. Can you just send something like
just now after you drop the call?
Yes.
Just send it now. So
yes, I'll send it, and then you can do a bit of research and get back to me. All right.
Okay.
I really love you guys, and I appreciate you so much. And I'm here, even though I don't call sometimes, but I'm still around. I'm supporting you.
Thank you.
And I love you so much.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys, let's push the likes. Let's push the like. We'll answer your calls, guys. We'll answer your calls, but push the like button. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Hello, Mr. Anonymous. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Are you also okay, Emily?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
That's good. I hope I'm not too far off the mark.
All right. Sure.
But was simple. Well, ngokubanga kwami kungenzeka ukuthi I'm missing it by a mile. Why can it not be a consideration if in any way there is a prohibition against that lawyers should have science and mathematical studies when they have to go do law? The reason for this question that I'm asking is that it is coming out right that the lack of understanding of science by lawyers and up to the judge level can actually easily hinder the judges from making a sound judgment, because we then call what we refer to as experts, and some of them are not even experts. By the way, we just had Pinky who tells us she studied at the University of Vodacom, and I don't know what that is. And there was this other guy, I've forgotten his name, that when he was asked as to where he studied, and the institution had closed down, something to that effect, because they go for these 1 week training and then come back and all of a sudden they just experts. Quite a significant amount of ballistic evidence that has been delivered by state witnesses come no way close to scientific principles of physical science. It is unlikely that you can find a bullet, or so it is referred to as a projectile, landing between 2 glass jars and it doesn't touch any one of them after having hit a wooden door. So if we were to talk about the kinetic energy that the bullet actually has after it's released out of a barrel, not even Mangena, if he were to be questioned about the amount of energy it has when it comes out of a barrel, and you tell me it hit the floor and it hit the door and then it landed on a counter between two glass jars, and those glass jars are just standing there. When they took it to the level of striations, the judge was nowhere to be found. Ramusipile, who's the defense for accused number 2, you could tell he had to do some reading for him to come up with a very relevant and significant kind of cross-examination.
Yes.
The judge was nowhere to be found. This is bringing about our justice system to a level that will be undermined by the entire world. Why does it not become a requirement that these people do a bit of science and a bit of mathematics? Maybe not to a level that a scientist or an engineer actually does it, but some basics, so that they can able to just from basics argue technically. They just can't. That is why we end up finding a judge wanting to tell us a definition of a word. He brings about 3 dictionaries. I'm like, what is the point? We all know what the word means because he's an Englishman, and he's too old, by the way. If why doesn't he go home and rest? If he has grandchildren, probably look after them. Just enjoy your life if you've made enough money, and stop embarrassing yourself like he's doing. This is just a joke.
Yeah.
And it's not acceptable. I don't know what I can do on my own personal capacity, probably just to donate to you guys and just ensure that you continue doing what you're doing. This needs to be exposed on a complete different level. We can't stand this. We really can't. This is a joke. Now comes out new evidence this morning that actually this Gininda guy was actually called yesterday and claimed to have been ready for testifying in court. Jiki, hayi ngeke aseza sesifuna lowe track. And uzoyenza le evidence uBaloyi. Hayi ngeke sikhathele labo Vaseline laphayana. Hey. No. Lento lena ayikho man.
We are all tired.
Yabona ngoba niqhubeka nje ni expose kanjena. Ngizodonate very soon as well. We need to take it to another level. And if kungaba ne petition that we must sign, noma ngathiwa siyahamba siyoma emgwaqweni, like we cannot, personally I cannot take it anymore. I mean, can you imagine ukuthi nobaba Senzo akasekho was frustrated by this very matter? All of this is happening just because of this justice system operating ngalendlela operating ngayo. How serious are we though? Ay, cha mina ngisakhoni. Kubalekile ukuthi yena uyabhala ama-exams nakhona if uyabhala lo muntu lona ngoba ujakalasi nje naye omunye lo. Ngapha ingane zika-accused number 1 kufanele ziye esikoleni. Ziyapanishwa ke manje sizonika amakhopha awu-2 uzoyawabala mhla u-2. Uma ingafika ithelwe ngamanzi kufanele babuye futhi kuye bezofuna ikhophi.
Yebo.
Cha bafethu. I know. And we all watching lento le yenzeka. Akusiyinto efihliwe yenzeka phambi kwethu. Ngathi sidinge sinye isandla man. noma sikase sifonela uPutin ekeze nje mhlambe for one day kule country ethi uvakashile ake lapha ecourt sibona ukuthi because angisazi manje ukuthi kudingekani nale case itiye ukuthi fanele ngabe kwenzakalana kwenzeki kuvikelwa ini ngegama le justice system. Hayi ngiyabonga kodwa nje inhliziyo yami ibuhlungu.
Hayi buhlungu ngiyayizwa
Hayi no ibuhlungu man. Hey kodwa nenza umsebenzi omuhle man. Ngizodonate kodwa ningabolibiza igama lami mangidonatile ngizoyifaka nje XXX. Kodwa ngizofaka ngiyawuthanda umsebenzi wenu. This is very very important, particularly indlela ni analyze ngayo. Uyabona because ngesinye isikhathi uthola sikhona ukubheka mhlambe sisemsebenzini eminwe. Bese niyahlala ngalesikhathi mhlambe besenze okunye bese siyabuka nibe nale analysis. It is very important because we're not well educated ngalezi zinto lezi. Senze okunye nje empilweni zethu but indlela bese nisibonisa ngayo ukuthi bukani lapha bukani lapha bukani nize nipredict nokuthi bazokwenza kanje bevele bekwenze. That's how stupid they are. Noma udawa amandla ukuthi umuntu une authority ijudge livele likhuluma ecourt ukuthi ya mangabe ufuna ukwenza appeal noma nginendaba and I wish you good luck. It already suggests ukuthi you don't take the potential decision okufanele uyenze critically because awunendaba. Because you have your brothers there makuthiwa your appeal or they will do nothing to you vele. Ngapha abohlophe bayakhishwa umuntu ofunda okuserious ke. Angisakhulumi ngeeducation engacacile ngoba ngizwa kuthiwa wakora negoli elilodwa icareer yakhe yonke yebhola nje singa yabo nje unenkinga eziningi nje lo baba lona yabo manje uzoyikhiphela la kule ingane zabantu. Okay nisebenze bafethu sizo support. I will do that. I'm really angry ngalento eyenzakalayo iyangicasula man. Imbi.
Hayi understand it.
Hayi cha bakithi hayi.
Right. So, guys,
this is
please
the
like the
level
video.
of anger
Like.
We are all at. But now I refuse to succumb to my true emotions because I know that I will be so drained.
Mzansi, hello. Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am good, and you guys there?
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Okay, yeah. So, what I want to also add on is what you were saying earlier, that the defense side, I also blame the defense a lot, and more especially, there are certain things that if you're watching the case live, and you will see that this certain part is unnecessary for us for an adjournment. Like for example, today, what happened is obviously I know that there's people will be like, I know, but you have to consult. I didn't see a need of going to consult your client about Longwe's car. How is the client going to advise you about Longwe's car? Because the client number one does not even know Longwe's car, was not even there. The only thing that I've noticed is these guys, the judge and Baloyi, if they want to buy time, they create a story and involve the guys, the defense, and they know that two people will fall in that trap. And usually, if it's not Mnisi, Mshololo will be Mshololo for them to buy time. So what happened is, if those guys, they all said, we're going to do it into the bar today, now, here, the judge wouldn't even have anything to attack them. Because number one, he was also so disappointed about now there's something that happened and the Baloyi didn't inform him. So that's one of the things that I usually check, that there are certain things that I feel like they need to also discuss that, no, guys, this one, why should we adjourn for this? Because when they adjourn, the state is buying time. And they know that obviously they will adjourn. That's why they are telling them from the beginning that if you need time, even 2 days, I can give you. Thank you. I think they need to resolve that part now. Because to be honest, when they asked me, Sholorem said, I don't have anything to say. I just said, no, you must say something. Okay, let's adjourn for what? According for what happened yesterday, there was no need now. There was no need now. Thank you.
Thank you. And for also bringing that up about Michelle not having anything to say. Literally, it was forced.
Out of it, yes. To add time.
She was forced to say something, anything. I'm like, what can they say?
Zanzi, hello? Zanzi, hello. Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
We're good. We're good.
I'm good, man. Yeah, speaking to Bob from Cape Town.
Yes.
Yeah, you see what Adv Baloyi is doing there now is just buying time, man. For I just into the introduction of his argument of his head. He's speaking about what Mr. Ngomezulu said. But my question is, if Mr. Ngomezulu said Longwe was driven on a red polo to hospital or to that house, how that thing is going to prove anything? Because Mr. Ngomezulu didn't say Longwe was driven on a red polo to the doctor saw him. So now he's time with AVL, and Longwe is to say, oh, it's a continuation of hearsay evidence. Because then he said Longwe was driven red polo, because why Longwe is not going there to confirm himself? Yes, I was there, I was driving this polo from this point to that point. He's not willing to go there, and he's willing to bring AVL of Longwe. While Longwe is still alive now, at this level of injustice, it's very frustrating now. And the judge is willing to play along. Thanks, God. Today I was so frustrated. The process Baloyi is embarking on is very unnecessary and waste of time. But if you want to prove anything regarding Longwe's car, you must bring Longwe. Then Longwe can confirm his registration, the registration number of his car, where he drove from Kelly's house to this point to that point. But that thing won't help, because Mr. Ngomezulu didn't say Longwe was driven to this point, to this doctor on a red polo. He didn't mention that. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your views.
Yeah, Sizo Bamba Jiranje. Hi, Emily and Mr. Anonymous. Remember the Vodacom lady in her testimony, didn't she say Longwe's phone pinged hospital and clinic before Senzo was brought in? I can't remember vividly, but you might be on something if that is the case.
It just requires taking a step back and re-listening to her testimony again.
And then some
be onto something.
And then someone says, "Evening, Mzansi. The red polo story by Baloyi is a trap. Baloyi wants to solicit information from the defense to check what the evidence they have up their sleeve. So if I were defense, I would pass on cross-examination. It's time to play their cards even closer to the chest." Yeah,
I agree with that now, 1000%.
I agree with that. So the issue of an ID, remember there were cases that were said to be a lot of cases investigating and whatnot. Accused number 1 might have, right?
I think it was spoken to with regards to accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi.
No, it's accused number 1. That was said to be having a lot of cases according to Ginindi, right? So the ID, then maybe it was still going to be linked somewhere you never know. You never know, man. You never know.
Kuri, they are literally gonna make accused number one's children and family beg Advocate Baloyi.
It's a psychological game, in my opinion, that say, give us what we want, we give you everything you want. You know, like, it's, in my opinion, considering that they are saying they were coerced into agreeing to certain things, and same as what is happening to Mncube right now, which if you were looking at this, if you were to look at this, with Mncube's solitary confinement, Ginindi is involved, right? As we are being told that it was coming from Ginindi, that whatever needed to happen, allegedly. I would say allegedly because I cannot quote it exactly as it was. This, in a normal court where a judge is, in my opinion, not biased, you would probably prove that there is a bit of force that is being used for these people to break down, which proves their theory that they were coerced into writing these statements.
This denying of the ID situation, it's giving very much these people don't take a no. These people don't understand, don't have the compassion that was being preached. None of it is shown to these people. Like, what is the purpose of denying him his ID at this point while so much has happened? Even Gomezulu was saying investigations have been done, they are done. Why ningafuni an ID? It's not like he will dispose of it after it's given to him. It's his ID. I mean, what can he do to destroy it?
Yeah, it's scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I mean, an ID, and in all honesty.
But it's making them look very bad now, because now it's making them look like...
That's what I'm saying. In a normal court, it would make them look bad.
No, in a normal court.
In my opinion. I don't think this one is the right one.
This one, we shy sangomoya. There's no compassion on that angle. Compassion is only for certain individuals to write exams. Yeah. And then Bora, when he brought up Ubuntu. Yes.
Yeah, there's no Ubuntu.
I was like, that Ubuntu, you know what I'm getting a sense of?
They
it's like people manipulate people that are at a disadvantage to have humanity. It's like, I remember feeling somehow when people are asking for parole from the families of victims, and then see this whole thing of them being expected to have humanity being brought up. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like this is a tool for certain individuals to use it to get other people to do things, and especially towards people that are victimized the most. They're like, have Ubuntu.
It's a disease that we, people of color, have, and it has been used long time ago. Up to this point in time, this Ubuntu. But
the oppressors and the perpetrators are never asked for Ubuntu. Never. They are never expected to demonstrate.
We were requested Ubuntu by one of ours to say, let us have Ubuntu. And low Ubuntu today is being pushed to our faces most of the time. And that's what is currently happening.
It is shoved in our throats.
In that court, people are told to have Ubuntu. The defense is told to have Ubuntu. But Baloyi
doesn't have Ubuntu by holding hostage someone's ID. Allegedly.
Yeah. It doesn't show. It's not there, in my opinion.
No.
It is missing.
Zero.
That court is full of, in my opinion.
Just be grateful I gave you a certified copies.
After you fought, after fighting.
It's so sad. It's honestly sad that
Baloyi
these kids are being made to beg.
His mind a lot. He would say he would get it, it's not a problem. Then all of a sudden, after a judge suggested, hey, maybe you do copies, and then they come back and do copies. A judge suggests that Ginindi must be given time. Ginindi is not available. And then you tell me that collaboration can be eliminated. in my opinion, that court knows no compassion. It knows no, it doesn't seem to be a court that is not biased. It has eyes, it can see, it feels, it chooses, in my opinion. It seems as if that court is something else than what we are told of when it comes to courts. It just, even people who did not do any crime, kids did not do anything. Even if they say the father did the crimes, because the father's problem started when this case started. Same as the solitary confinement of Ngube serving his sentence, and then the problem started when this case knocked on the door. This case comes with a lot of problems. You get arrested anywhere, anyhow, and then all of a sudden you have 10 cases that are waiting for you.
Yeah.
So it comes with a lot of pain.
And I'm gonna tell a story, but it's not really a story. It's just a scenario of my experience. There was a time when I was a student, I used to see these very active students or learners who would be considered to be on top of the game. They would finish the teacher's sentence before the teacher even said anything. Do you know those type of students? And I was like, okay, these people must be really smart, and their point or their purpose exists in a class to make the rest of you feel very small and to feel like you are never doing enough, and that no matter how much you study, you're not just as smart as them. Until a couple of months down the line, you then discover that, oh, these people meet outside of the classroom. And then you're like, It's just a story I have.
Inganaga teacher, you can never compete with Inganaga teacher. The only time you get a chance of competing with Inganaga teacher is in grade 12.
Yes.
Because in grade 12, teacher is not marking
The final exam. Or where they get the teacher that doesn't like them. That's when they...
No, it's not even about that. The papers go to somewhere. Someone just marks them, looks at the answers. The answers are correct, you get a mark there. Inganaga teacher. And you realize with Inganaga teacher, where the teacher teaches, and if he goes to that school, they normally don't do well at grade 12.
And then it's like, these people, they are connected. They meet. When are you meet the teacher in class? When are they meet the teacher?
So in that being said, what we're trying, in my opinion, what we think would only happen, maybe justice would be realized upon passing this court. That's my thinking. If we were to take Inganaga teacher's example and say allegedly or created a hypothesis there, then it tells us one thing. Grade 12, then you get to gauge yourself whether the person was smart or not.
And maybe that's why I have this thing of feeling more for the defense, because I've been there every day wondering myself, why is this person so up there? Like, why do they have answers for everything? Why are they finishing the teacher sentences? Why does it feel like this person exists to make us dumb? I've been there. But then I discovered later on, months down the line, that they know each other. These people talk, they talk outside of the classroom. I'm not doing that. Perhaps that's the reason why I'm left behind, or I always feel like I'm playing catch up.
Right, just remind you guys to press the like button and renew your membership, and and get a new membership if you haven't. Mzansi, hello.
Hello, Mr. Ano.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you? Hi, Emily.
Hi.
Yes, Emily. Here come the idea. Music. Ke bona ile gore gona le game e tshamekang e se monate mo. He ke bona the idea is a le teng. Even though Mgomezulu o bone o kare mogola ona a itshwere.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be the abona ele card, but I wanna the details tse di le mo cardeng. What I'm thinking ko gore o kare ba texa di mo ba certifyang teng ba etsa a new copy because ba na access ya ho certify la motho. He ba re the card e tla ba available he case e fela. They know gore tla ba tshele rena public re bona ba ka ba moraba re idea how a re bone so ma phela a new idea. I mean ke game ba e tshamekang ke se ke nyoko kind of something. Yes ne ke batla go tshwaela ka that one. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
our caller here is coming up with a very interesting theory that maybe it's a game that's being played. The ID is not there. Yes, they may have demonstrated whatever was demonstrated by Mogola. However, they have access to certifying. I mean, if you have access to certifying, I mean, do you need the original?
No, yeah, they
You've got the
actually,
stamp.
they stamp, yeah.
And she's actually saying they may have T-pexed a couple of things and made a copy, and allegedly, it's an allegation. We're not saying that that's exactly what they have done. And
If they would allow the guy to actually go make a new ID while they keep this one and he declares it lost or something, so they can
Yeah.
keep this one as an evidence.
yeah,
You know, I think that's one thing that they can do. They need his, and then he puts the address to, or I mean, anyone can collect. The kids can actually go collect it.
I don't know if that's allowed at home.
Yeah,
Affairs.
you can collect for someone else. I think. Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Yeah.
I remember having to fetch mine. Yeah, but apparently you can.
You produce your ID as you do that. I think.
Temporary ID.
No, you produce your ID as a person who's collecting.
Oh, okay. I've never done it before. Collected for somebody else.
Yeah. So they can do that. FNB, last time I checked, you could, if you have FNB, you could do and create, you do an ID through FNB and request an ID through FNB. If they had FNB, that would help actually, because so that these ones can keep this one, you know, and do whatever that they need to do with it.
Okay. Right, but that's an interesting one. And she was also saying that maybe they are holding off this thing of giving certified copy because at the end of the case they can always tell him go make another ID, and they know that the public would not see anything. So Asaz, but something is not right with this ID situation. It's being dragged, and the more it's being dragged like this, the more we become suspicious.
Maybe they lost it, yes.
Maybe it's lost. Don't know.
Right, guys, please like the video. Let's push for at least 300 because I see it's difficult. We are on 493 people. We only have 282 likes. 282 likes. Let's push for at least 300. Then the morning gang will finish. Because the morning gang is always going to do that. It's difficult for the night riders to actually like and match the numbers that we
Sure,
see.
they're tired, man. Sure, they're tired, you know. So, you guys, I feel like we can wrap it up.
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
We'll see you tomorrow. It's gonna be a long day, provided that Brigadier Boninda might make it there subsequent to the effect that. So, I need to get rest.
Right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys, and Thank you to everyone who was on the chat. We will go through your names. Maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yes.
Nete, I see you there.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow, guys. My apologies. I am tired. I need to rest.